What's up, friends out in YouTube land? Big D here. Brother High Five Vega in the house. What's going on, Rob?
Yo, yo, yo. What's up?
Yo, yo. We are doing a special episode for the people. For you. You, and you. Special, super special episode. And we are going to engage the audience tonight. That's right. We're going to watch your comments. We're going to talk about your comments. We're not going to ignore you until the end. We're going to listen to you right now because we got something important to talk about, Rob. What are we going to talk about tonight?
We're going to talk about CEA subwoofer ratings, or maybe CEA ratings in general. We've talked about them before.
Yeah, CEA ratings. Well, there's been some
Yes, we are.
flack.
Yep. I seen your comment. Yes, we are.
Yeah, there's some comments lately here about subwoofer testing and blowing up subwoofers and how to do it the right way and how to do it the wrong way and what's a CEA rating versus what's a RMS rating versus a peak and all that good stuff. Skip says it exactly. I don't want three different ratings.
Yes.
I agree with
One.
you, Skip01. Give us an RMS rating. It's fine to give us a peak rating too. That's okay. But RMS for sure. And not three ratings. So that's what we're
Yes.
getting from Rockville. I said the name. I told Rob I wasn't going to say the name, but I did.
Yeah, man. They wilding out on YouTube.
So they've done some tests on their channel trying to debunk what EXO did in his video, and I actually did the same thing in mine, but I don't get mentioned in my video because I probably did it at the end, and they may not have watched that far or something. I don't know. But there's some discussion about, is this a valid test? So I contacted some manufacturers to find out, how do you test subwoofers? What's your test method? And pretty much across the board, they're pretty brutal. And the ones that I got a response from, I'm not going to say names because I don't know if those people me to say how they test their speakers, but it was interesting. A lot of them said they did these tests at for hours and hours at a certain wattage using pink noise, so running the full range through it, and after that they double that, and that's their RMS rating. So whenever it blows, whatever power it is, they use that as half of their RMS.
Yeah. So let me see if you can explain what a CE rated subwoofer is.
I can.
If anybody can explain it.
I'll try, and then you guys in the comments let me know if I'm wrong, because this is what I heard Rockville say, and I understand why they said it, what they said. So their explanation is, you have a 1,000 watt CEA rated amplifier that matches to a 1,000 watt CEA rated subwoofer. So what do we all know about a 1 ohm amplifier at 1,000 watts and a 1 ohm subwoofer? What do we all know? This thing called impedance rise, right? You're not going to get 1 ohm on that subwoofer when you have it in the box, or when you have it on your table or whatever. When you're sending a frequency into it, you're going to have a variance of frequency, usually 2, 4, 8 ohms. So that 1,000 watt amp, Rob, how much power do you think that 1,000 watt CEA rated amp at 1 ohm is going to put to that 1 ohm 1,000 watt CE rated subwoofer?
Well, let's point this out first. CEA rating is only at 4 ohms stereo. So there's no CA rating for 1 ohm mono. Am I right or am I wrong on
You're
that?
close. So it's 4 ohms. As long as your amp does rated power, 1% THD, 14.4 volts at a given frequency. I don't
Yeah.
remember what that frequency is. If it does it at 4 ohms, then you can get the seal, as long as you pay for it, that goes on the amplifier box that says this amplifier is CEA rated because it did its power, the stated power, at 4 ohms. Now, if it's rated 500 watts at 4 ohms, 800 watts at 2 ohms, and 1200 watts at 1 ohm, say that. That doesn't mean that the amp actually does 1200 watts at 1 ohm. It just means that they have the rating, it's measured, it's capable of doing it at 4 ohms. Now, if they're specific in their measurements and say, oh, it does do 4 ohm CEA, 2 ohm CEA, and 1 ohm CEA, then it should do the rated power in each one. But this goes way back to the massive audio test I did a couple years ago. You guys might remember I had that massive audio CEA rated amplifier that was rated 800 watts or something. It did the 4 ohm measurement, but 2 ohm and 1 ohm it failed miserably. And that's when I did some research and found out, yeah, that CEA rating is only for 4 ohms unless it specifically mentions any other ohm rating. Now, you guys know a lot of amps today, especially the monoblock amps, 2 ohms or 1 ohm is where they're rated at their optimal power. So,
So back to your original question, what do I think that 1,000 watt amp will do at 1 ohm? Well, if it's a reputable manufacturer, it's going to box rise somewhere. I mean, music, you have a impedance curves that dips and rises. You can see it in Rockville's video themselves. You're not going to get the 1,000 watts, that's for sure. Um, at best, you might get 700-800 watts, something like that. And for manufacturers that are not as reputable or trying to get away with something, you're probably going to get a lot less.
well, and that's pretty evident in the video they did where they talked about CA ratings and they showed that what 1000 watt CA rated amp with a sub, it was like between 200 and 400 watts at the most that it showed on the term lab during that whole whatever 1 hour test or whatever they did. So I don't, I don't really get what they're trying to do here because I think they're only kind of digging themselves into a bigger hole. That's a personal opinion, but um, yeah, I think a lot of people here agree that they just need to lower those ratings and then move on. Stop
Yeah.
making such a big deal about it because they're trying to talk about EXO, which, he's got a lot bigger audience than they do. And
Well,
I don't know.
the sad thing is, I haven't dealt with one myself, but from all accounts, it looks like a decent sub. It's not terrible. Obviously, it's got a cheaper coil inside of it, and that seems to be the issue on the old ones, the new ones. Now, if they rated this at 500 watts RMS, would we still be having this issue, or 500 watts CEA? I don't think so. I don't think we'd have this issue. I think it'd be a whole different story.
I don't either. But again, it goes back even to the amplifiers, the three different ratings. You got the CEA rating, the RMS rating, and then the max rating. The CEA is the only one that has the accurate numbers. The RMS one, why would you even have a RMS rating when you have a CEA rating?
Yeah.
It says RMS matches up with Hyphonics and some of the other brands. I'm like, well, Hyphonics doesn't put accurate numbers on their ratings either. Maxonics not for the win, and they
Yeah,
know
and
it.
well, and here's the sad thing is, like when like you see EXO's video, he gets decent number, like really good numbers from that subwoofer SPL wise, but they put that power rating on there, and just like when you test an amp, you've got to see what they're claiming. It's hard to recommend something that doesn't do what it says it's going to do.
Yeah, people in the chat here are saying, no more peak RMS only, and they say, need RMS for hours, not 2 or 3 minutes. That was Skip, and Cardio Fabrication Mark agrees,
Yeah.
and we agree too. And again, that's what I heard from several manufacturers that their RMS rating is very, very conservative. And they do it on purpose because they don't want people to burn up their speakers. And going back and I'm waiting to see if Bruce, aka EXO, is gonna hit me up and join us here because I gave him an open invitation. We should go back a little bit too about this special stream and about how it started. So before I get into what I was gonna say, this was a hot topic last week. So we wanted to go live just to kind of do the same thing we're doing here and talk about it so everybody can kind of, you know, give us their opinion. We'll give our opinion about what goes on. So I asked Rockville if they wanted to join us, and they asked if we could push it off until this week and said they would join us this week. So I pushed it off until this week, and I've got a lot of stuff going on this week too. And then it wasn't long after they agreed, they backed out and said they had too many people traveling, they wouldn't be able to join us. But they want me to go up there to their lab or either come down here and we can test things together. So my thought was, this is not really my battle. I just want to talk about it a little bit. I don't want to prove or
Yeah.
disprove anything. I would
Yeah,
like
and
to
we're
see some
we're
other
not here
subwoofers.
to try to defame them in any way. It's just if if we let stuff like this stand, it's going to continue to happen until the consumer starts speaking with the wallet. Like, hey, we're not going to pay for this if it doesn't do what you say. And let's see. Ed says when he worked for a woofer manufacturer, they done test tones RMS for 24 hours. Mark says peak is 100% a number that companies use to get non-educated consumers to buy. Same for amps, and that is 100% the truth. And I think everybody knows it. We do feel that way, as we've said it many other times.
Sell more products. It's all about the money, friends.
Yep.
So yeah, Rockville did the Sundown yesterday, and I want to. I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
people have seen this, but I'm gonna pull it up real quick so you guys can see. You're not gonna be able to hear anything, but I'm gonna share the
Watch
screen.
this. Watch this number.
Watch the number right
Yeah.
here. It says 761 watts. I'm gonna play it. Three, two, one. Now watch the number. Look at that.
1200, 14, 2200,
28,
3000
3,000 watts.
watts. Wow.
I'm gonna go back a little bit so I can find it. See if I can scrub to it. There's
Yeah.
2,800 right there.
Wow. I've
So
seen over 3000, a little over 3000. That is not the original amp they used. That's clear because that amp was in what the amp he say was rated 1000
well,
watts, the
I need to
original.
go back because I thought it said the DB16. Rockville doesn't make an amplifier capable of putting out that kind of power that I'm aware of, unless it's a pro audio amp. Let me go back and see because I thought he said it was a DB16, which is a 2,000 watt. I'm trying to find
Yes,
it here.
Mark was talking about the coil shorting. That is true with the coil shorting at the end, and that's something I thought too, but it just I don't know. Derek's trying to scrub through here and see what he can find on the amp.
So it's a DB Comp 5 here. Sorry, I was muted just a minute ago talking to myself. So the DB Comp 5, let's look that one up real quick. I think that one's only rated 2,000 watts at 1 ohm. So there's no way. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. My point was it may be the same amp, but they obviously like the gang got turned up, the volume got turned up, something happened outside of that. Wasn't just a smooth. It wasn't playing 700 watts and then all of a sudden it peaked out like that.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, uh, Derek from Sundown was on last week, Everyday Audios, with T Fade and Skip, and he's done tests before. And I was trying to see if he had them on his channel. Skip, do you know if he has those on his unofficial channel that we could show? Because he said they tested it for over 24 hours too, free air, doing full rated RMS power. So yeah, I'm gonna pull up that DB Comp 5 amp real quick and see.
Yeah, I mean it could be a shorted coil, but I don't know, man.
I don't even know if
You
they
know,
have.
we should go back to the other video and see if it happened on the massive audio when it blew, if the power peaked up like that. Matter of fact, I'll pull that up on mine real quick.
Okay, go ahead. I'm searching for.
Let's see. Uh,
Oh, okay. So they've got a new amp. I haven't even heard of this one. So let me share my screen here. It is a 3500 watt amp. This must be a new one.
Yeah, it might be.
It's got a voltmeter built in. $349.
Ed does point out that these damage control reactionary videos is not good for a brand. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly to that.
Yeah, and the only reason that we do those type of this type of video that we're doing now is just to kind of get the information out there for maybe folks that aren't paying attention to that. Let me click down here. Let's see what we got. Sorry, I'm scrolling through video here, folks. Try to read some of the comments.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through too.
It says
So
DB.
it's too bad we don't have Will with us tonight. From Savard,
Yeah,
because I mean they test. They've been making speakers since what, the late '70s, early '80s, something like that.
yeah, for sure.
And it would we'll talk with him tomorrow night and find out how they do their test.
Yeah, and that's something that we could ask him. Yeah, for sure tomorrow. Sorry, I'm trying to scrub through here and see what we have going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to read the comments here. Rob, look at 438 on that video. Mark, which one is that? Is that the one I was just showing? 438. Maybe a little bit of a jump.
I'm on the first one, and I'm trying to see if when it blows. Okay, so it blew. Okay, I'll go back to this one, and I'll share my screen so that you guys can watch this. Sorry. Let me do this one right here.
Oh, the American base one? Is that the one that you're doing?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so let me get. I think I got it all set up here.
Yep, I see it.
Okay, you
Oh,
see
okay.
it?
I'm gonna hit it so it doesn't switch back to me. I think it says share to
Okay.
everybody.
Oh, all right. You are screen sharing.
Okay. Oh, yep. You got to hit it where it says share to everybody so it'll stay on you. Because if not, I'll talk, it'll switch back to me. So after you share it, there should be a button up near the top that says share to everybody. Do you see
Oh,
that?
I don't get that because I'm not a host.
Oh.
So I'll just
Well,
keep
here, I'll,
talking.
I'll mute then. You just talk.
All right. Okay, let's see here. Right as it blows, so you can see we're around 12, 1100 watts, somewhere around there. I think I'm very close to it. And it's about to go right now. Yeah, it blew and absolutely no jump like we had before. Now that could be definitely a different uh, case, but
Yeah, I don't know, but unfortunately, the ones I blew here recently, the K9 12 and also the Blaupunkt, or Blue Point, or however you guys want me to say it. I get somebody commenting about it all the time. Um, I I cranked those up at the end. I mean, you probably saw like over 3,000 watts. I didn't try it to keep it going. Of course, the Rockville, I did it for a minute, or not quite a minute, at 1,000 watts, and it started smoking already. I let it cool down, then I finished it off, but I didn't give it that same consistent test to see when it would blow.
yeah, I know
But
that's unfortunate.
yeah, I mean, the when the coil shorts out, the impedance should rise, and then when it breaks completely, the power is going to go away because there's nothing to measure because there is no impedance at that point. I don't I don't understand if there is a jump. If anybody knows, I know we were going to see if we get Sean from EMF, but we know that he's got not so good internet at one of his locations, and it was very
Yeah.
short notice because I noticed that in fact, I'll pull up I'll pull up some of his comments
And while you're pulling those up, I'll kind of read some through of our comments here.
Okay.
We got Sean King, our boy Sean King, talks about maybe a better rating would be a post a continuous rating when the driver is installed in a specific enclosure and playing a specific frequency. That would be a good one. Uh, just FYI from Ed, when we ordered coils for a woofer, we would order 1,000-watt coils. The coil manufacturers spec the coil because of the electronic component. Our tests merely verified the ratings. That's good.
Well, and when
Let's
EXO showed that one before, when he compared a 750 watt coil to the quote unquote 1100 watt or whatever Rockville coil, the 750 watt coil had a lot more copper, and it was actually a lot deeper too.
yeah. Then we have Mark Crowley says Rockville used a different box, different amp, and different source for all of them. Oh, and then Skip says we're coming out with our sidekick show called Sound Sidekicks. Yeah, that'd be funny. Let's see. It says watching Rockford test the sub, I felt like the box was undersized for the sub and possibly wired to half an ohm to give it the needed power that was from base out. All right, you ready to read your comments?
Yeah, so I mean, with all that stuff, my whole thing would be, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to prove the point that all subs are going to blow with this specific test, but I don't know. It just seems like they're coming at it the wrong. EMF replies back, "This is the last test with the Sundown SA12." And he says, 750 watts at 1 ohm is 27.38 volts. And he goes on and on. He says, why shouldn't I expect severe clipping? And then they mention they use a 3500 watt amp on the second test. Again, that was a very quick blurb. In fact, I don't think a lot of people saw it, and I didn't see it the first time I watched it. I had to watch it again to see, because I didn't even know what a DB Comp 5 was till I watched it the second time. But they're going back and forth, and Sean from EMF is much more of an expert at this, and Ed here in the chat room and several other people here are much more experts on this than I am. But I don't know, man. It they're going back and forth, and I think Sean from EMF is going to do a video with one of his subs and show the true power going to it. So that'll be interesting to see. I've talked to some of the other manufacturers, and they're like, "Oh, we're not gonna do this because it's not our battle here," which is not. I understand they
Yeah.
don't have to prove anything,
Well,
but
and it's a bad look. I mean, it's a bad look. It's just simple as that.
well, it all goes back to what you said way in the beginning. You know, just rate them conservatively,
Yeah.
and then there is no argument here. None at all.
Yeah. Well, I think that there would be no argument if there was never a video. Um, kind of. I wouldn't say he's attacking the EXO, but just basically saying his test is invalid for whatever. So that's what really sparked this and continued it. And I don't know if they're trying to maybe kind of ride a wave with that. You're like, hey, this is kind of a hot topic right now. We gotta get in and get our side to it. But we did invite, but like you said before, we invited both sides on, and fortunately, EXO couldn't make it. Rockville had to reschedule. We couldn't get them back on. So
Yeah, and EXO and I did a collaboration on that K9 video, and he invested. He told me 250 plus hours on it. I didn't invest maybe 20 hours on mine, but when we finished up, we had a little discussion about it because my original test, and I was like, well, it blew, but I put a lot of power into it. And then I saw what he did, and I was kind of like, well, are you sure that the woofers can all handle that amount of power for that amount of time? So him and I kind of went back and forth on this a little bit, and you know, on his side, here's what I fully understand. His first video of that K9 last year, it went viral pretty much. If you consider any car audio video that has over 200,000 views is pretty much viral. His video has almost a million. Probably by now it does have a million. It had over 950,000 when we did our video. That put them on the map. That gave them a lot of exposure. And it wasn't long after that, Skip said, boom, I blew up the K9s and I didn't give them, their full RMS power. What's up? And then all of a sudden you start hearing a lot of other people complaining, oh, boom, they're blowing up. What's going on? So EXO, I'm talking for him here, I think he felt the responsibility this time to be extremely cautious and careful in what he did, and then how, if he was going to, suggest this speaker or not based on the rating. And in order to protect you, the consumers, money, because we all spent money on these things. I did too. I was sent one by Rockville, and it's already been given away. But caveat to that, they did send me one, but it had nothing to do with my review. That is never an option for me. If a manufacturer sends me stuff, they're under the understanding that that doesn't affect anything. You want to
Yeah.
send it to me, that's fine, but it
And
doesn't
there may
change
not
what.
ever even be a video.
That's right.
You
It
know,
doesn't change what I say because I'm not going to do that. I don't care what it is.
yeah.
I say what I want to say and I say what I feel. But he, he wanted to make sure that, hey, this information is going to get out. I did these extensive tests. You watch his video, it's like 30 minutes long. He goes through a lot of detail, shows waveforms, shows all this kind of stuff. So he just wanted to make sure people understood what they were getting. And he didn't say it's a bad sub. He just said don't feed it the 1,000 watts.
Yeah.
So what are their response videos saying? Don't feed it 1,000 watts.
Yeah.
So
And I can relate it to something that happened to us, when you're doing videos like this and you're recommending something to someone, if something falls short, I mean that is totally out of your control, and you got egg on your face. A perfect example for us is the whole Bolin audio situation. We had Bernie on, we were fawning over the amps, the beautiful amps and all this stuff, and I don't know how many, lots of people lost thousands of dollars. So we had to come back. We got egg on our face, like, hey, we felt bad that anybody may have bought this because we said something or something like that, and that's kind of the same situation.
absolutely.
So
And you know, I have a pretty strong feeling about being honest and accurate in things you rate. And I don't sell things. I don't make products to sell. But if I did, I would sure make sure that it did what it said and more, because I don't like the other way around. But unfortunately, the environment here, the car audio environment, is you know either you have the ones that are doing things the right way and being honest and they're charging more, or you have the ones that are charging less and trying to get a jab in there and steal some of the market share. That's why I've talked about the amp ratings before. I'm like MTX, Rockford, JL, all these companies that rate things honestly. I'm like, why aren't y'all doing something about all this other crap that's out there? This is pulling money away from you guys, and to them it's just like it is what it is. We're not going to fight that battle.
and the worst part about it is if anybody asked me about a budget brand, I would have shot them towards Rockville because you have the bosses of the world, the pyramids, the just the brands that are at the very bottom. And Rockville typically gives you a lot of value for your money. So that's why this is a bad look to me, the way the videos are coming out. Even though I think they do try to do a very good job to make it sure that they're not actually bashing a brand, but still, when you take it all into context, it could come off that way.
Yeah, again, they proved that EXO was right because they said it. The subwoofer will blow at a
Yeah,
thousand watts. His
yeah,
test showed it blow at 1,000 watts. So there you go. Thank you
yeah,
for proving EXO's videos right.
yeah. And
Because
I mean, I've got a lot of Rockville stuff here at the house. I've got a little home theater in a box type thing. I've got some microphones. I've got some podcasting equipment. I've got quite a few things from 'em that I've bought and paid for and really enjoy.
yeah, we've got people commenting that it may hurt sales. Let's see, no problems with proper use of the K2
And I think Skip did say that right off the back that the K2
or the
seemed like it was,
K6.
or
Was
the
it the
K6,
K6? I think.
K6, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had some reservations honestly about doing doing this video because I didn't want it to circle or put a spotlight on Rockville because I don't believe that's helping anybody. I think I really wanted it to be more of a, what, how are manufacturers testing subs? Because I kind of feel like you said earlier, they may be riding this a little bit because they're using his video and keep mentioning it, and I don't know. I just wish they would have come back and said, you know what, this test is right, but this is why we did what we did. But
Mm.
it didn't come back that way, and that's the part that really kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth about a company that will do that to a big YouTube star. That he has to be very careful. I mean, anytime you have that many subscribers and viewers and things like
Mhm.
that, you have to be really careful, like you said earlier, for the things you put out there. Because if you put stuff out, people go buy stuff, and it turns out to be junk. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not listening to this guy anymore."
Yeah, for sure.
He's pushing products, and I can tell you, I've talked to Bruce. He doesn't push things. He buys way more stuff than he should. And by the way, if anybody out there is listening and watching this, y'all need to hit up EXO and you need to give him some sponsorships or something because he shouldn't be having to buy anything if you ask me. He's
Yeah,
got
for sure. Mm.
way too many eyeballs.
Well, and, playing devil's advocate on the whole thing, we've known about and we've wanted to have them on about their amplifier ratings, the three ratings. That is a system they've come up with, and actually, that is somewhat better than you get from a lot of the cheaper manufacturers, where they're just going to give you a max rating, sometimes no RMS rating at all. And I think that's something they do to kind of set themselves apart, but also tap into that uninformed consumer. Let's call it. So and so it's kind of a you're stepping on both sides of the line with that, especially if you don't make your minimum rate, you got to make the minimum rating at the very least.
It's a good point here from the chat. Chuck Davis says negative publicity also helps spread their name and they will ride it good or bad. And that is such a true statement. And that's kind of why I didn't want to say the R name in this video,
Yeah.
even though we have, because I've done videos about Boss and Power Acoustic and some of these other brands, and go to Amazon. And I know everybody doesn't watch the videos, okay, granted, but if anybody does a search in YouTube for Boss Amp Dyno, they're going to find either mine or Ryan's or somebody else's test and see, there's a reason why this thing costs $100 and says 4,000 watts because it's not 4,000 watts. But yet you go on Amazon and the top selling amp is still the Boss amp. So is it the fact that I test it, show people what it does? They just, oh, it's a video on YouTube, but I'm not going to watch the video. I'm just, oh, it has a video, so I must buy that because it's good. But any advertisement, in some cases, good or bad, is it puts eyeballs on it.
Hey,
But
maybe
this
you should
video will
start.
not have Rockville's name in it. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should start leaving your videos for the Boss Amp in the Amazon comments, and then we can all upvote it.
Well, I need help with that because I have done some tests like the Blue Point, whatever you want to call it, and I need people to vote it up. And my name is Derek W. is what shows up in Amazon. If you see things, if you're looking at amps and see mine on there, click the little thumbs up so it'll push it up, because the more helpful reviews it gets, the higher it pushes up to the top. But I have to be careful what I put in my comments now, because if I put anything about Williston Audio or YouTube
Yeah.
or anything, they won't let me post it. So I
Oh,
just put in the specs. I say it did this. I've got an amp dyno, but people need to know. Let's read some more of the comments here. Rockville is dropping down to power acoustic level quality. Um, the 900 watt Polk.
yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Skip, the price of that Polk amp, man, it keeps going up. They must only be down to
Yeah.
one pallet left of them or something. It
It's
started at $51. Now it's at 79, I think.
well, I mean, now everyone's. I done the video. You done a video. Now we're all like, it's on every post of the 150 challenge. It
It
seems
is.
so they must have, the 150 challenge probably had a little influence on that price rising. I'm sure.
I bet. Demand
Everyone,
goes up. They've got some algorithm, I'm sure.
yeah.
But that the brand X, and that may be my video this week. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that or something else. But that brand X for $75, man. If that thing was $5 cheaper and I could have fit that into my
Yeah. Oh,
$150 SPL challenge, that would have been
speaking
the
of
deal.
that, coming up this weekend, I've got something cool, very cool. Derek's already seen it. He's seen the enclosure and all that. So
It doesn't matter how it sounds.
yeah,
He'll have the coolest box in the $150 SPL challenge, guaranteed.
I hope so. At
Guaranteed.
least the weirdest.
It doesn't matter if you only do like 125 dB. You got the
Yeah.
coolest box.
If it does that, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be really sad.
The the Blaupunkt 12s, man, I still have those four in my Ranger, and I
Oh,
haven't blown
dude,
them yet.
do you still have the one of the Rockville subs?
I do.
Put it up against a Blawpunk side by side and see which one blows first.
Yeah, I think we know which one would go first, but
Yeah.
you're talking $25 versus $115. You're talking extreme budget
Yeah.
versus budget.
Well, then do four of them.
Well, yeah, that's what I got in there for. I would take the
Man.
four Blaupunkt 12s. I'm telling you, anybody who likes old school, lightweight, efficient subwoofers, those Blaupunkt 12s, they're the ticket, man.
Yeah. I'm
Four
about
of
to check
those
them
with
out
a
when I come up
thousand
there.
watts, and they can take 400 watts each. So you could easily give them 1500 watts for the four. I'm gonna before I'm done with that $150 SPL challenge, I'm gonna put the Orion SPLX on the 412s and just see how much I can do. I've already broken the rear view mirror, by the way, in the Ranger.
Oh yeah.
I'll show it in a video how it broke, but yes, I broke the mirror. I'm like, great, that's just what I needed. 7 years of bad luck.
Yeah. That's always fun. I'm yeah. I'm kind of excited to see what these 810s do.
Oh, he
Look.
said it.
Yeah.
He
Eight
said
ten.
810s.
Yep.
Did y'all hear that? 810s.
810s, and it's still in the 150 challenge.
That's some budget friendly tens. Would
Yeah.
you sell that Hyphonics Big D? Man, it's funny. You know, there's a few amps that I don't want to get rid of, and the two that I showed this past weekend are two of the ones that I don't want to let go of. It took me a long time. I used to drool over that original Hyphonic Zeus Series 7. Man, those things were so much money back in the day. Like $900 back when you could buy a brand new car for like $4,000.
Yeah.
I mean, it was huge. If you did the current value of it, I'm sure that amp would be close to 2 grand today in today's money. And yeah,
I've been to Derek's house, and there's a lot of amps he won't give up.
True that. I also
Uh,
have a lot hidden. They're
yeah.
not here. They're other places. They're buried in the backyard, so you'd never find them, even if you found out where I lived.
Mm.
So just give it up. Plus, I have an attack dog and a
And
shotgun
tasers.
and tasers. So what you guys think? The Ranger is slamming. It is. And guys, stop it with the comments about the earmuffs, because you can do what you want to. If you want to sit in a car that's 130 dB plus and don't wear ear protection, or in this case 140 something plus, that's up to you. I'm not going to do it. It my ears hurt. I just tested just for a couple minutes and it started hurting. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm gonna protect my ears. So
Did you see the video that Pete Schultz made an appearance in
you tell me
without
about it. I
test?
didn't watch it. No.
Yeah, so it's a young girl that she has a system and showing her competing and all that. But the whole time seeing her demos, she's got no ear protection, no earplugs or anything. I'm like, man, you're still young. You could save your ears. Don't do this.
Well, we interviewed Wayne Harris here on 12 Volt Talk. It's been several months now, but he talked about it. He's like, I'm always wearing ear protection, so I don't really care because I want to keep my ears, and I'm the same way. I know there's been
Mhm.
videos and debunking low frequencies and how it affects your body and your ears and all that. Do whatever you want to do. I'm gonna keep wearing my big old fat earmuffs, and you don't have to wear them if you don't want to. But it's like much of life. You have a lot of advice from people in life, and sometimes you just do what you want to do, and sometimes you listen to other people. I do what I want to do in a lot of cases. So
My subs are never loud enough to hurt my ears. So
I don't like them that loud, honestly. I mean, to
mm.
me, 135 to 140 dB is about as loud as I want to be. Anything over that,
Well, and the problem too with those is that with those blow punks is you got that box tuned. It looks like it's tuned pretty high, and the lower bass you get away with it. That higher bass it really hurts your ears, man. It
it does. Yeah, yeah. It's tuned pretty high. I think 45 hertz or
yeah
something is what it's tuned. And I don't like boxes tuned like that. My 10W7 is tuned to 34, I think, maybe 32 or 34. And yeah, I like that bass. I like the
mm.
lower too. But the Blaupunkt is designed for sealed enclosure, but there's been people that have posted videos, saying they've tuned it low and they sound good. So I would like to see
Wait,
what size
and
box people are using.
back in the day, the solo barracks were supposed to be sealed only, and especially the round ones. But man, everybody put them in a ported box. I mean, you just they worked well in a ported box. I don't know why they were even listed like that. I guess Kicker knows better than us, but
We'll have to get them on here sometime soon
yeah, that'd be
and
good.
talk about that, because I do want to talk about some of the new Kicker subs. I think Kicker gets a bad rap
Yeah.
for something that was said a few years ago about some 40 hertz and stuff not being.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks, Kamal.
yeah. Thanks, Kamal, for the
Stranger.
super chat. Paying it forward for all the base advice. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I lost my
Y-
train of thought.
Oh, but about the kicker getting a
Yeah, so
bad rap about
Kicker.
the
So
40
you've
hertz.
seen the yeah, but you've seen their Q series subs and stuff like that. But let's go back to the 40 hertz comment. You and I have talked about that before.
Yeah.
So the comment, and somebody help me because I don't know if I'm going to quote it exactly, but it said something about there's not much music below 40 hertz. Is that what it said? Is that what he said?
That's the basic sentiment, I'm sure. I'm not sure if it's the exact comment, but yeah.
Not much content below 40. So what's your thought on that, Rob?
I mean, it's kind of true. Uh, when you get that low, you're not hearing music. You're feeling the pressure. And I think maybe he kind of misinterpreted his audience. You know, cause did it start because they all their boxes are tuned at 40 hertz or something like that?
Seems like it was a CES or something, and it
Yeah,
was an explanation of why it was at a certain frequency. And I hate to be bringing it up and not having the data to
yeah,
back it up, but um, so
It
Depending on
said
what you
music under
listen.
40 hertz is wasted energy. That's what
Okay.
Mothra said.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a little different.
That's not true. I can't agree with that.
Yeah.
It's just like people like that. We like the low bass. We like to feel it. You know.
Well, that's the whole thing about car audio. You know,
Yeah.
car enhances those super low frequencies and makes it a much different experience than home. You know, not having to have as much power and all that stuff to use in your home as you would in your home.
Yeah.
But home theaters are pretty awesome too. That's something that I'm into. I don't know how many of you guys in the chat room are into it, but I've got a small little home theater. You can go to my Wilson Audio channel, look at my, I think I call it a budget home theater because I've got a projector. I don't have a screen. I just use it on the wall. And
It
I know
looks
I should
good, by
have a
the way.
screen.
I've seen
Rob
it. It looks
Rob
really
has
good.
seen it. It does look pretty good.
We got to watch a movie next time. We didn't have time last time.
Yes, we will watch a movie when you come up here. I think the one thing that I need is some sound deadening on the walls or something because they got a little echoey up there. But I've got the old Boston towers in the front, Boston center channel that cost $400 back in the day. That was the Cat's Meow. Got a Serwin Vega 15-inch sub and Polk Audio surrounds. She gets pretty good. Gets pretty
Yeah.
loud.
On that note, I'm gonna be making a road trip up to Derek's house. When is it? Next week. So y'all check out my Instagram. I'm gonna do some Instagram stories, maybe some Facebook live feeds.
Oh, that is next week.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm High Five Vega on Instagram. Robert High Five Vega on Facebook. So yeah, follow me. We're gonna road trip with one of my good buddies, JDR. He's going up there with us, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out. We'll try to make some videos, and we've got a local old school stereo meet that we're gonna do here at one of the local parks.
Yep. And
That'll be fun.
maybe we'll squeeze some kind of 12-volt talk live stream on, and maybe we'll do something.
Yeah, I forgot it's that soon. I've got so much stuff to do, man. It's not even funny. And I got to get caught up too. I'm always so behind on trying to get my videos done.
Yeah. Well, there won't be no video for me that weekend. That's for sure.
Let's see
It'll be live
here.
streams here.
Yep. Let's see. Have you seen the difference in the sound quality since you've changed from the Infinity sub? I've used two of those subs in MTX. Apart from being louder, does it sound better? So, Taz, I'll be honest. Since I got the Gately box and the new sub, I used it for a little while, and then I pulled the sub out to do the Blaupunk test because I wanted to do a test which I had like 3 cameras set up. So I wanted to be able to show all the different angles since it's a plexi box of what it looks like when a subwoofer blows up because you could invert the sub or whatever and see the back, but I wanted to see the flex and I wanted to see the smoke and all kind of stuff. So I haven't put the other sub back in the box yet because there was some. I talked with, well, I chatted online with Bobby Gately about that box and the massive audio subwoofer that I have, that huge 6,000 watt BOA 121. And he's like, throw it in the box, it'll be fine. And I'm still kind of scared about putting that thing in that box. 'Cause that woofer's what, like 80 pounds, and I don't want to break the box. He says it'll be fine. I'm sure it would be if he said that because I don't have any reason not to believe him.
Thanks, KM
KM
Corporal.
Corkle 69, thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. But I did have a local shop, Creative Acoustics, make a specific enclosure for that subwoofer, and I just need to finish it and put the terminal. Speaking of terminal, we'll have another terminal coming in here soon from somebody out on the west coast that's doing some test of some magnetic
Oh man, you're gonna be
terminals.
balling.
Yeah, I got one of the prototypes coming here,
Been
so I'm going to be
following
doing
that.
some testing, prototype testing. It'll be here before you get here. Should be.
All right, I'll take it home with me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Man.
SMD. Shout out to Steve Mead Designs for
Yep.
sending over that terminal. The only thing that may be a challenge with that particular box is that terminal is a 2 channel or 1 channel, positive negative, and the BOA 121 is a dual 1 ohm, and I want to wire it so that I can use both of the coils and do series or parallel depending on if I want half an ohm, if I want 2 ohms, or if I want 1 ohm per. So yeah.
Speaking of that, have you seen Spark Innovation's latest little video?
No, but you
Dude.
guys were talking about it, and I'm excited if it's what I think you said it was.
Well, I think I was wrong because I rewatched it again, what it was, and I was thinking in my head, I was thinking it was an Acu match, but it's more like a impedance selector from what I've seen. So you like you said, you got dual 1 ohm. You want to run it 2 ohm. You want to run it half an ohm. Click, click, push the button, and you're done. It's all set up with relays. You know they're big into relays. That does all that. So yeah, looks cool. Rated for 5,000 watts.
Oh yeah, I do remember him talking about that a while back, and that's a
CEA
great
rating.
idea. Did you
CEA
say CEA rating?
rating. Oh my gosh.
That's great. Yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna have Will Savard from Savard Speakers. That's exciting. You guys who've been around for a little while know about Savard. If you don't, go to savardspeakers.com and learn some stuff.
Yeah.
Rob unboxed a 6.5 inch subwoofer,
Oh, and
and
I'm building us some cool enclosures for them.
that's going to be sweet downs. And I want to compare the two, see, you know, what's up with that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, hold on, got something. They've been available now in the $150 challenge. What did I miss?
Oh, he was talking about some MTX 7500s he bought for $35 back in the day each. Yeah, 4 15-inch Thunder 8000s. He bought them for $35 each in 2001.
Yeah, but that's so the
And
150.
Joaquin tells him but it has to be available.
Yeah, the $150 SPL challenge. If you look in any of the videos that I've done, I think Rob's as well, it'll link you to the page where it talks about the rules and how it all works. So you basically have two options. You can do subwoofers only for $150. So as many as you want to get that'll reach up to $150. That's one option. The second option is subwoofers plus amps. Doesn't matter how much you spend on your box, how much you spend on your wiring, your electrical, your head unit, anything, but you have to stay under $150. And it's not shipping, it's not tax, it's just what the items cost. So, and unfortunately, I think a lot of us are finding that to get the things we want, it's like $1 or two. And I think Sean King said that what was it, his was like
32
59
cents or
cents or
something. Yeah.
32 cents over.
Yeah.
And so I think we need to change it next year and make it the $155 SPL challenge
Or 51.
or 51. But it did make me think about something else, and I want you guys who are in the chat room to give us some feedback. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, we are engaging the chat room tonight because we don't usually do it during our show, and we do greatly appreciate you guys being here joining us all the time, so we want to engage you more when we do our special episodes like this. But it made me think, this $150 SPL challenge is fun. It gets people to do stuff. It's kind of it's good for the community. It made me think about maybe doing some other types of challenges in the future, and we might get some manufacturers involved as well to see if they want to sponsor. I mean, I know they're doing giveaways for this $150 SPL challenge, but I got some
Right.
ideas of some other stuff. Some of us like old school stuff. Want to use like old school amps. You have to use an old school amp,
Yeah, that'd be
or
cool. So,
you have to,
some kind of
yeah,
or
or even a certain brand. Say if
you know what else would be cool?
what's that?
I just thought of it. Old Usaki rules. 0 to 100 rated by 4 ohm stereo ratings. You know.
We know all the truth now, though. There is no
Yeah.
lies, and we're gonna have to get people to like show the circuit board of those US amps because they can put any of
Oh
the
yeah.
end plates on there. Because I've got a VLX 25 here, that's rated 12 and a half by 2.
Yeah.
So y'all are all in trouble because that thing does 600 watts.
I see. But someone else may have a what's the other one that did well? The 225 HO.
Yeah, but there is none that
But
beat
you've
the
only got one of,
VLX
but you only
25.
got one of those.
I
Someone
know.
could have two of those,
No, I want four.
but you don't got them
I
though.
know I don't, and
That's
I'm
the
not going to be
thing.
able to afford four.
That's why it'd be a good challenge.
No, I don't agree. I think it's a horrible challenge. That's a challenge to cheat.
You could use a couple punch 45s.
Get EXO. Oh, yeah. So speaking of that, with the Blaupunk 12s, I do want to pull some other amps down too in the Punch 150. Somebody asked about the Punch 200, the MTX 2300. Some other ones on a trial on those too. Oh, the 2000X by Ben. Yeah. Lanzar 2500s, those are good ones too.
Yeah, but those
HX2.
ain't. But you got to be under 100, 0 to 100, just
Oh,
like I
listen to
was back
him.
in the day. See?
Well, I've got two 225
See?
HCCAs. That's probably a pretty good.
That's the combo right there. Some
Yep.
high efficiency subwoofers.
The challenge is forcing me to buy a term lab. See, Joaquin, we should have. I should have hit up Wayne and said, "Look, we need you to give us a discount for the term lab because we're doing this for this challenge.
Yeah, some coupons.
Get some coupons." I bought mine. It was $680 with shipping. I didn't get the Magnum. I got the
Rebel.
Rebel. Yeah.
You know what? I want one of those, but playing with the little mini SPL meter that I got from you, like man, it's hard to for what I need because if I got the term lab, I'd want the Power Pro, obviously, Power Probe. But that little mini SPL meter, man, that thing's great for what it is. 200 and if they could get that thing to 150 bucks or lower, that'd be insane.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's very it's easy to take it with you. Let's see. I like the HX2 challenge, but here's Robert Van Hoy says the longest living K9 sub.
Oh no, shots fired.
Oh boy, make it main fuse limited like an 80 amp fuse. I like uh, that one too because I thought about the same thing. What about a factory electrical? So you can't have an extra battery, but
Uh,
then
that's
you
my jam, dude. I run all my systems like
I
that.
know, but then you've got the ones that have like the Super Duty pickups that have a 200 amp alternator
Oh,
stock.
my Suburban's got 145 amp, and
Yeah,
it's not even a HD.
yeah. See, my Sequoia, I don't even know what the one on Sequoia is. I think it might be 120 amp, 125. I'll have to look it up. It's a 4.7,
And I got a
but
spot for a stock extra battery.
oh sweet. Run them on the Power 1000D. Dude, I want to do that. So the four Blaupunk 12s, each of them is 4 ohms. So if I want to run them on the Power 1000, I'm going to have to bridge the Power 1000 at 2 ohms times 2. I think it can do it. I think
Yeah.
it would be really loud.
What I really want to see is a peanut punch 30 on that massive audio subwoofer. I want to see what it does.
Dude, if you want to, when you come here, we'll do it.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That sounds like,
Maybe it'll
yeah.
blow my hair off.
Well, that will be another option for the challenge is just pick an amp like the Punch 45 or the
Yeah.
225 HCCA and say you have to use this, use whatever subwoofers you want to use. There is no limit to subwoofers.
Yeah,
And see what's your SPL number.
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd definitely have to be one that you can find.
Yeah, that's true because that would be a little bit of a challenge too because people would have that barrier to entry. Then the
Yeah.
prices would. Phew. So by the way, people, just so you know, you might want to buy a 225 HCCA.
Yeah. Heck, we could do it with the Polk.
We could do it with the Polk.
I mean, it's kind of being done right now, halfway anyways on the 150 challenge. But
That's true. But well, it would still not limit you to any other speakers. Like if we wanted to use 8 of
yeah.
those Blaupunk 12s, we could.
Hmm.
We can almost use 8 of them if it was a $160 SPL challenge. No. Is that no?
No,
Yeah,
not under the
because
ball pump.
no, when I bought them, they were $20 each, and you can go by the
Oh
original
yeah,
purchase price.
yeah,
That's one thing they need to do in that challenge is they need to have a price list of what the price of things were because I know the prices have jumped now.
I think I seen them mention something like they did do that, or Maybe
well,
it's on the website.
they're going to honor the original price that people were able to get things for. Let's see here. Use my Zeus 8 on the 4 MTX 8000s. Yep. Taking home stereo speakers and put them into the car.
I've been done that.
Oh, of course. XTR 1400 AB. Yeah, that's a good one. 130 amp alternator is what LM or L Fernandez says with the Sequoia. I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah. Oh, I would
Walmart
say.
gear only challenge. I like that. I'm
Ooh,
gonna give
that's
you
a good
guys a
idea.
tip. So here's what I've learned over the past month. I've had a few videos that have done really well, and I'd like to think it's because of the ability of me to create the content. But I think what it really is Walmart is in the title on some of them, and Amazon is in the title of the others. So don't be stealing my thunder, but I think that's really what
Yeah.
does good.
Oh yeah, you see like the tool guys like cheapest tool, cheapest axe on Amazon, cheapest whatever on
Yep.
Walmart.
Yeah, and the cheapest amp on there, or the best-selling amp, I think I did the Boss that one time. That one's several 100,000 views too. But I've
It,
got an idea of another video that I want to do now, and I'll go ahead and spill it because
is it the one you already told me about?
I don't think so. I don't think I told you
Uh,
this one. So the dual 10-inch powered subwoofer. Did I tell you about that?
mm-mm.
Okay. So they have the dual 10-inch. It's like a truck box. It's a 10-inch sub. It's got a 100-watt RMS amplifier on it. $50. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna pull the speaker out, test the amp, see how much it really does. I think it'll do 100 watts. Dual's pretty valid. But I bought a Sundown SD310 to put in there. See how good that sounds. So that's a nice
That
little challenge.
those SD310s are they're no joke, man. They sound good too. That'd
Yeah.
be
So that'd be fun just to swap it out because the original idea was to do the cheapest system for my pickup truck, and I was going to use that powered 10, the $10 Blaupunkt head unit, and I had some $10 Blaupunkt speakers I was going to throw in there. But all that stuff has gone up, so it's like if you don't jump on this stuff immediately, when it's relevant, then all
yeah.
of a sudden, oh, I can't do the video now because it's not relevant anymore.
Well, I did see a lot of people mention micro sub micro amp challenges, like a 6.5 single 6.5 SPL challenge.
Yeah,
But we'd have to exclude Ronnie Smith, obviously.
yes, we would, or he'd have to come over here and help me.
Yeah.
He's not too far, by the way,
Is
and
he
we
not?
might, he might, he. I think he's coming to the meet, so we'll be able to hang out
Oh,
with him and
cool.
maybe steal some of his ideas. Um, let's see. Somebody just said, oh, let's see. Did you ever make the Rockford boombox case? I never finished because what I did was, so I showed the original video and then I took the 4-inch sub, 4-inch mids, and the soft dome tweeters and I put them in the bookshelf type enclosure because my feeling was it would be cool to have like the carry briefcase, sorry, have the briefcase with the mid range in there in a bookshelf style enclosure. So what I could do is I could take them out of there and I could mount them so you could have the speakers external, kind of like the old Cambridge Soundworks Model
Yeah.
11 and Model 12 box. That was my idea of how to do it. And it's like everything else. You get lots of ideas of things you want to do, and gosh, that goes back to that particular video of the Cambridge Soundworks Model 12 that I did. So I tested that. I talked about the Model 11. I think I bought both of them, and I spent 25, 30 hours on that video going through the history, talking about Henry Kloss, all that stuff. That video to date, I think, might have 10,000 views if I'm lucky. It just, you know, to me, it's like for historical purposes, I want to get that stuff out. But
Yeah.
man, the views on it were not very good.
I love that video, by the way. That's the kind of nerdy stuff that I love, but there's not that many of us out
It's
there that care
not.
about it.
It's not really. And those things were pretty popular. Of course, I always wanted one because I'm a geeky guy that likes
Yeah.
audio stuff. But I mean, who doesn't want a briefcase that's got sound equipment? But I can tell you, setting that thing up. Of course, we like it because we're geeks and we're audio geeks, but it's a pain.
Yeah.
And you guys might laugh at me, and I don't really care because I wear earmuffs when I listen to 130 dB cars. But I like the Bose acoustic wave machine, not the little small one that fits on your desk. This Joker's bigger. And Rob, I don't know if you've heard one. When you come here, I'll let you listen to it. You tell me what you think. There's a lot of hate about Bose and their cheap speakers and this and that. That thing is freaking impressive.
And we've got a topic on that. I've already got the doc worked up. Remember? I don't
Yes,
want to give away the title, but yeah,
yes, yes. I mean, yeah. A lot of
uh,
people, it's almost like the built versus bought thing. You know, people get mad
yeah,
when you pay somebody to do something. Well, a lot of these people that get mad about the Bose stuff, I don't know if they've ever really heard it. It's not the best, no,
no,
but take it out of the bag, plug it into the wall, bam, you're done. There's no running wires, there is no nothing. The only thing it doesn't have is Bluetooth. But speaking of that, here's a challenge I thought of. The $10 ball pump radio is now $12.42. I want to see what all you guys are doing with that thing because I know people were doing cooler radios and they were putting it in the like. I had one guy say he was going to install it near his shower at his house so he could have a radio to listen to stuff, while he's taking a shower. I mean, I would love to see what you guys are doing with those things. I bought like 4 or 5 extras too for doing little projects, but
yeah. I
y'all
know
let us know what
our
you're
buddy
doing with them.
Bill bought like 4 of them, 5 of them, something like that. Speaking of that Cambridge Soundworks, let's see if you remember this one, the Trivoli Audio Model One. You remember
I
that? They
do.
still sell that, man.
It's just got the one knob on it, right?
Yeah, I love that little that little speaker, man. Little radio. Up, you're muted.
Garage sale shootout. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be difficult. But I mean, it's cool. Like I said, I like all these ideas. I think it would be just neat to have different challenges. Target
Dude,
versus
that
Walmart.
you know what garage sale slash thrift shops and or thrift shops. You show the receipt because who knows what you're gonna get there. You may just get like a couple JVC home speakers. Throw them in the back. Throw them on the meter and see what it does. It's,
By the way, was it last year or year before? I think it was year before. I had the flu, and I hadn't had the flu since I was like 12 years old. Dude, I was down. I haven't felt that bad in a while. But I got into Lazy Game Reviews on YouTube, and I don't know how many of you guys watch him. He does great videos. I enjoy him, but he's got one called Thrifts, LGR Thrifts, and it's when he goes to thrift stores and finds cool stuff, and it's anything from old digital cameras that are new in the box to just anything. He of course he likes old games and the boxes and stuff like that. But to me, I do. When I had the flu for a whole week, I watched every one of those. They're so interesting. But of course, he says it, on some of the more recent ones because people want to see more of them. He's like, guys, you don't realize that it takes me 4 or 5 months of going to these thrift stores every week to find enough stuff to make a video. And people know that visit these stores. You don't go in just one day and find,
yeah.
whatever cool item. You have to
I
be
wish I had time to
persistent.
do that. That'd be
I do
awesome.
too.
Yeah.
And that would be fun. But every time I go to like pawn shops and thrift stores, I don't find anything.
Let's
Let's see.
see.
Zvox Soundbase. No, Scott, I haven't heard of that one. I bought 3 radios. Larry, you talking about the Blaupunk, Blue Dot, Blue Point, whatever you want to call it?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, the Zvox. I remember that. That's the you set your TV on it, and it's like the one of the original sound bars.
oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
And one of the major competitors, I had one. Is called Sound Matters. You ever heard of that?
Yep.
It's a little bitty one. Matter of fact, I still got it. I think it's in the attic.
KM Corkle says 225 HCCA and 2 USA 50 HCs. Yeah, that would be a cool
Yeah.
build.
Use the
Uh,
225s.
and Joaquin says he bought two, one for a boombox and one for his Tahoe to test longevity.
eBay pre-owned challenge.
$150 SQ challenge. That would,
Yeah, but how can we judge that remotely?
yeah, SQ is difficult. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. The whole idea for me behind all these is just get the community engaged and get people doing stuff because I think we all can get stuck behind Facebook and get stuck behind the computer and tablets and things like that and not get out and do as much stuff as we should. But obviously the neat thing about $150 SPL challenge is it's not a big barrier to entry. It's $150, but of course the big one is how you going to measure it. You do have to have a meter, and
Yeah.
I think we should have like a network of shops that would meter it for you for free.
Yeah.
And that would give them some exposure too. I think that's probably an idea for next year.
Or at least like captains in each area
Yeah, or
would
somebody that
provide an
has
hour or
one that will
something
be
like that.
willing to do it, or somebody would do it for a reasonable price. I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine somebody asking me to give up my day to, you know, do SPL tests for
Yeah.
people.
Well,
But
not everybody does YouTube videos though, so some of them might have a little extra time to, us. All our free time is like, oh, we got to do something for YouTube.
yeah, it is. It really is.
So they may, because we got ball practice and all that too. So dance, whatever it
Dayton
is.
Audio Sub Challenge. See, something like that. I mean, that's a great idea too, because we could get Jeff from Parts Express, and he'd probably give us some discount codes and stuff too. That will
Yeah.
be a great, you know, fuel for them to get more customers, and then it would give people better prices, and then it would just be fun. Something like that, I think, is a great idea.
Ben says, Facebook Marketplace Challenge rules be buy it in your local town. Screenshot, spin up to 150, but don't get killed.
Yeah,
One caveat:
yeah.
don't
I
die.
I don't know about y'all, but I'd prefer to just buy it and have it shipped, and that's why I don't sell stuff local either, because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the experience of meeting up with somebody and trying to get the timing right and then not showing up. I've had so many different things happen. I'm just not doing it anymore. Best 8-inch speaker. Yeah, I mean that's an idea. Of course, now the 6.5s are the big thing. Do
Yeah.
more with less.
I
And
like
with
this.
with
I
the
have
Savard and the Sundown and gosh, there's so many of them. Scar. There's a lot of different 6.5s.
I've got an infinity for small subwoofers. I liked eights before. I like 6.5s now. I think they're cool.
Let's see. David says I got an old school Alpine MRV 1000 that I was a big dummy and did a derrick. What did you do? Did you sell it? What did you do? Give it away? Throw it away? The flea market audio challenge. Does anybody still have flea markets?
We used to. We don't have any anymore.
I don't know if we do because I've not been out to our fairgrounds lately to see if they do. I
We
think they
had
do.
we had a big flea market, and they installed car audio at the flea market. They had like a little shop.
Dude, our flea market used to have the Pyramid Pro series. The ones that were made in the
Yeah, the Super
USA.
Pros.
Dude, if I would have known back then how good that stuff was,
Mm-hmm.
it was cheap. It was super cheap. And I remember they'd have those bloated retail prices too. It would be like $3.99 now on sale today for
Oh yeah,
$150.
and it's off of like colored cardboard, and it's cut out in like a like a comic book where they speak. Did they do that at yours? They got the little star pattern and all that in there.
Yep,
Buy it today. Retail price $3.99. Buy it today for $39.
that's right. $39.99.
Or even worse was the ones that they would do it at the convention center and they'd advertise on radio.
Oh,
Get a JL subwoofer for $10.
yeah. Or starting Subwoofer starting at
Yeah,
$10. Yeah, and they always show the picture of the JL, but you go out there and it would be some
yeah.
flippy flappy speaker that came out of a TV or something.
Or it could have been a Titan. Who
Rick
knows?
Rick said he built a box for his two Haiku 6.5s.
I'm building two boxes for IQ 6.5s.
Yeah, but he's. We need to see what you did, Rick. Show it to
Yeah.
us. Favorite flea market is gone. Where's your Kenford? I'm gonna do a I'm gonna do a group photo of the Alpina or Alfina, however you say it, which
Yeah.
is you guys can probably see it. It's right there at the bottom, right there. I got that, the Kenford, the Thump. I'm sure I'm missing one. Oh, there's also an Urban Audio Works on the top that's still in the box. Probably can't see it very well because it's dark on that side of the room. But yeah, I'll do a group picture so you guys can wish you
Yeah.
had some of that
So,
junk.
something else I'd like to do is a lot of times, everybody that listens or watches, they have most of them have some sort of system. We don't ever get to see those systems. Like, take some video, email it to me, and I'll just throw it up, or even there, throw it up on the channel. It's like, viewers rides, subscribers rides,
Yep.
kind of like the magazines used to. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, engage the community, man. You guys send us stuff. And just try to remember when you do a video on your phone, hold it this way, not this way. This way, not this way. And be succinct, be to the point. Like show the head
Yeah,
unit, show the amp, show the box, and
yeah,
we don't need like a 10 or 15-minute video. It's hard, I know. Granted, just do it quick.
yeah. Just give us like a minute or two.
Yeah, a minute or two is good. Eric, I don't think I have a Rockwood. I was looking for one in a real good condition. There's a couple on eBay, but they want a little bit too much. Kickville. Haven't heard of
Matthew,
Kickville.
yeah, send it to 12vtalk at gmail.com or hi5vega at gmail.com. I can't think of your email right off the top of my head.
Willistonaudio at gmail.com.
All right.
Any of those. But 12E Talk is probably the best one because Rob and I kind of share that account. We both can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the subscriber rides too. Like I try to do the old school builds video every few months, but I haven't asked, of course, in a while. But I haven't received a lot of content about that. Especially anybody who's doing new builds today, or
Yeah.
there's people that are going back and finding either videos of their old systems or they're finding pictures, and I can make it into a slideshow or something.
Yeah, those are cool. I mean, I like seeing those, and we get to see them at the meets, but and man, it takes. I try to see everybody's ride at the fall meet, and I still think I missed one or two, and I spent most of my time doing that.
Yeah, Paul makes a good point too. It's so much easier now with internet shopping. Back in the day, you have to get catalogs, call the car audio stores. It would take months to build a $150 system, and that's true.
Yeah.
We, that goes back to our discussion last week with audio control. Chris from audio control. My favorite question to any of the manufacturers or their reps is, do you think the internet killed car audio? He's like, no, it accelerated it, and I feel the same way. It,
Yep.
it, there's changes that come along all the time. It's just how are you going to adapt to the change? You can either sit back and say, I can't make any money doing this anymore. The
Yeah.
internet killed everything. Or you can say, well, hold on now. We've got a way that we can share videos and we can use social media and we can do this and we can do that. But people get stuck in their ways. I
Well,
don't know
that's like
anything about that. Do you, Rob? I don't get stuck in my ways.
yeah. Well, it's like being a carriage mate. I hate those new cars. They're gonna ruin us.
Those newfangled cars. Yeah, I want to shift my car.
So Scott Ship says, "Give us a 1, 2, 3 formula for all subscriber videos," and I've got that in the bag. Start it off like this: say your name, tell about your ride, something like that. Just a quick little intro. Do a system walkthrough. Show us what all you got. A quick sound demo with something off the YouTube audio library so it can be played.
Yeah, if you want to do a sound demo, you cannot do popular music. It's not going to work for us. But we can put a little 1, 2, 3 down in this video. And also, what I'm curious is how many of you people watching here, I recognize a lot of you by names, but how many of you guys are on Facebook? because for communication, for us to put something out on our 12E Talk Facebook page makes it real easy to get feedback. So we can also put it there too, so you guys can see how to submit.
Yeah, that's for sure.
But I'm always curious because I get a lot of people on my channel on YouTube that aren't on Facebook, so I didn't know what the number here is. Ranger for life. I almost sold my Ranger not long ago.
I
In
know you
fact,
were
if somebody
talking
would have
about
given
it.
me enough money, which I wasn't asking much for it, I probably would have. But I'm kind of glad I kept it because I don't have a CRX, to put a system in.
Yeah. Oh man, you think
Micro sub challenge, that's cool. Mr. D, you're awesome,
Facebook
brother.
is a
Thank you,
devil?
Rock, for T2 base. I'm not a Facebook fan. I'm not.
And
I'm not either. I,
yeah,
I I don't use Facebook personally. I use it for this stuff.
yeah.
I use it for getting information out, but I don't
You,
put
you know what
stuff about my
Facebook's good
family.
for? Your family. Keeping up with your family and activities. If you don't go out, when you start adding your friend's cousin's third sister, and then now you got to hear their political views and
Facebook is the devil. They said it. So let me give you an example. And it's funny because my wife, we were watching a 48 hours or one of those shows where they solve mysteries. And she said, "You're going to like the end of this one." I'm like, "Okay." So we're watching it, and it's about a string of burglaries, if I can say that right. And I can't remember what part of the country. I think it was like Virginia or something. It wasn't far from me here, but they would um, they would abduct like the husband of the family, and almost all of them worked for banks or worked for a company that had lots of
uh,
cash on hand.
they made a movie about that.
They did.
Yeah,
Okay.
Outlaws or something like that.
Well, anyway, anyway, so this was about that, and about, oh, they know so much about these people and blah 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 blah. I know that they have a daughter that goes to school in Texas, and so they're scaring the father by saying, oh, we've got somebody watching your daughter. If you don't do this, we're gonna kill her. So it gets to the very end of the episode, and they're talking about, they found these people, and they found out, oh yeah, they got all this information from social media because people were
Yeah,
telling where they work, what time of day they're at work. They're showing, LinkedIn's got their whole bio and everything. And I'm like, don't put all your information out there, people.
yeah.
Save some of it for yourself.
If you try that to me, I don't negotiate with terrorists. You're gonna have to kill everybody and prove it to me.
Yeah, that's a story. I'm sticking to it.
Uh,
Did you watch EXO? What do you mean, Micah?
oh yeah, man. I watch all his. I
We're
watch both
yeah,
his
of course we
channels.
watch him. We were gonna try to get him on here tonight, but I told him, you know, he was originally gonna join us, and then, him and I talked about it, and I told him, I said, man, that's completely up to you. He he really didn't want to provide any feedback for them because he's like, I don't really have anything to say, and I don't blame him because he didn't do anything wrong. So
Yeah.
let's see. Ford Ranger is a Mazda in sheep's clothing. Yeah, unfortunately, it has a Ford engine in the one I have, not a Mazda engine.
Oh,
Well, I think we've kind of come to the end of this discussion. We've kind of run a little long here and talked about some other stuff. Does anybody else have anything? Facebook is Russian propaganda. No social media. And stay hard at work to stay updated, and yeah, aside from YouTube. And see, they call YouTube social media, but I don't. I consider YouTube entertainment. I don't really consider it social media.
yeah, me neither. Although I do interact a lot through the comments, but I guess that would be the only aspect of it.
Yep.
Cool. So
Cool. All right,
uh,
guys.
check
Well,
me out on Instagram, guys. I'm trying to do it up big on Instagram.
follow Hi-Fi Vega on Instagram. The Third Era. Thanks, man.
Yo.
Still stuck at work. CEA thumbs down. Love
You
it.
man. We're gonna be on tomorrow.
So we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll have our normal kind of, you know, episode, and we're going to have Will from Savard. So it's going to be fun. Talk about
Yeah.
them and find out how they test subwoofers and get more input on that.
Yeah.
This is a fun little extra episode. Make sure you check the video description below. If you're listening to just the audio portion, please go to youtube.com/12etalk, because if you have um, a system you want to submit to us, we can show in the future, then we're going to leave some information in the video description of this video to explain to you how to do it. Very simple. Don't want it to be very complicated.
Yep.
Hopefully, all you guys have YouTube accounts. You can just upload a video. Mazda 2284, you raising your hand? Is that what that little icon is?
Yep.
Brad, tell me what you got to say before I hang up. While I'm waiting for him to say that, so check out Hi-Fi Vega on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, and you can check out Williston Audio Labs on Facebook and Instagram, and you can also check out Old School Stereo, do some stuff there as well.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the amplifier giveaway at some point. We didn't plan it out today,
Oh, dang it! I forgot
but
about
soon.
that.
But soon.
Yes, so the 100 reviewer amplifier giveaway. Sorry, that's my failure, but we were going to do that. I gave away the Rockville 12-inch sub already. I've made a video of how I did it and everything, and did completely random.org and all that stuff. So I want to post that sometime in the future
And a little
on my
secret,
channel.
I still got a sub here I'm supposed to ship Joaquin.
Yep,
Sorry, bro. I haven't shipped it. I'm going to get it out this week. I hope.
cool.
All right.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good night, because we will be back tomorrow.
Later.
12 volt talk out.